Hi, we're Joel and Lia, and this video is British high schools explained.
So first things first, we should probably say that we don't really call it high school.
No.
I do know my cousin used to go to a high school, but I think that's very rare. We never call it that, do we?
And none of the schools call themselves that either. It's a secondary school.
Secondary school,
and the slang term for that as a Brit growing up in the UK is big school.
Big school.
Yeah, so when you're a kid, you're at primary school, but that's never called baby school. That's just primary school.
Just primary school.
And then when you're in primary school and you turn 11, you know that when you turn 12, you're going to be at big school.
And you're going to be at big school or secondary school or high school from 11 till 16.
Yeah, and the only real difference obviously is that everyone there is older, but the school itself is just bigger in size.
Yeah.
Everyone's primary school was smaller. From what I know.
Oh yeah, definitely. The big schools are big.
They're big.
I think there was about 2,000 people in my secondary school, which maybe compared to American high schools is not a lot, maybe.
Yeah.
But I think there was about 2,000 in the school.
That's quite a lot, actually.
What do you think?
That's loads.
Is it?
Yeah, that's loads. Because I think the maximum we had in our year was, I think there was 60 people in a year group.
Okay.
And there was 5 year groups.
60 people in a year
yeah,
group?
So two lots
so small.
I think it's 2 lots of 30.
We had 30 people per tutor group, and there'd be about 10 tutor groups per year.
Oh, wait, okay. Sorry. There's more than 60.
Okay.
Because there wasn't 10 tutor groups, but there was definitely 4 tutor groups.
Okay.
And there's around 25 to 30 in each. So it's double that.
So
it's 120 in a year group times 5. So let's talk about the subjects that we Brits learn going through school.
Yeah.
So you got the basic English, maths and science. They are like the staples. No one can get out of these.
No, sadly.
And you can't get out of learning a language either.
No, yeah, I think it's the same in the whole country, isn't it? Where you have to learn French, German or Spanish.
Yes.
If you're in the public school system. If you're in the private school system, you might learn things like Latin or some other stuff that you'll never use in your everyday life.
But this is like generic, like your everyday school that most kids you'd come across have been through.
Yeah.
So English, maths, a science, all 3 sciences I believe, and then a language, French or Spanish or German. I did French. Yeah. And then what's the other thing you can't get out of?
PE. Physical education.
Physical education. PE,
ICT, so we'd have to do like something with computers because you'd have to learn about computer technology.
Yeah, it was actually called computer technology, or IT.
Okay, yeah.
Information technology, because when we were going through school, computers weren't that hot. They were just kind of like big. I remember the big screens that we used to have in IT.
And doing Excel spreadsheets, and you're like, computers, I'm never going to use a computer. And now you're like, oh my gosh, that's how old we are.
Oh my gosh.
That we were literally being taught computer stuff that wasn't like on a flat screen computer. It wasn't on a laptop.
No.
I
think they just got flat screens when I was in like year 11, which is like the last year of big school or secondary school.
So actually, we should probably start with that, what each year group is called.
Okay. So what age you are and what year you're in.
Yeah.
So from ages 11 to 12, you are a year 7. So that is the first year from going from primary school to big school, secondary school.
Yeah, starts at year 7.
Yes, 11 years old.
11 years, that's so young. I felt so old going in school.
Me too, I felt like that was it. I'm going to big school, like welcome to big school, hon.
Welcome me.
Welcome to me.
But then you go into year 8 and it goes all the way up until year 11. So when you're in year 8, you're 12 to 13.
Hormones start developing.
They do. They do.
And then year 9 is 13 to 14.
Year 10 is 14 to 15.
And year 11 is 15 to 16. So so everyone's 16 or under in school. Anything beyond that we would refer to as sixth form or college. Maybe we can do another video on that another time.
Yeah,
we might have touched on it.
I think we've touched on it before, but at the time when we were at school, sixth form was optional. So compulsory education went up until 16 and then you could leave school and never return. I believe nowadays it's compulsory and you have to be in education either on an apprenticeship or at college until 18. So compulsory education is until 18.
I did not know that, Joel.
And when we were at school, and we'll come on to this, grades. When we were at school, it was the classic like A star or A, B, C, D going down.
Yes.
Now they do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You are
so
joking.
So people are graduating going, oh, I got 5 1s and 2 2s.
No,
and you're like,
stop
it. I don't know how it works. Yeah.
Okay, so this is crazy to me because I didn't know that they'd gone off of the A star thing. I thought it was still A stars and A's.
Yeah.
Obviously, A star was the best thing you could get when we were at school. How many years ago now? Would it be over 10, 15 years ago?
So I left in 2008.
And we're now in 2020.
Yeah. That's maths I can't even do.
Joel, isn't it funny
years?
that kids that are going through school now that are doing their exams, they are smarter than us in like mental arithmetic.
They could do it.
They know facts, they know countries, they know capitals.
But do they have a personality on YouTube? No.
But do they have a TikTok account? Yes.
And are they better at it than we are?
Yes. Okay. So back to the British schools, subjects you absolutely couldn't get out of. We've gone through those.
Yeah.
We've gone through the ages that you are when you're in high school, what we refer to as high school. Now we're going to talk a little bit about like the schedule of a day. So what a day might look like, how many breaks you get, what times the breaks would be, how long you're allowed off.
Now this varies school to school, I think, because my school started at 8:30, but we finished at 2:50. At 10 to 3.
Wow.
And I only knew after leaving school that loads of people at school would finish at like 3:30 or even 4, some of them.
Yeah.
And my school just finished really early.
That's so good. I wonder why.
Yeah. The younger year groups, year 7, 8 and 9 finished at 2:50, and then years 10 and 11 finished at 2:55. I don't know why. I think it was to give the little kids time to escape before the older ones came out.
That is so cute. I just got a flashback to when the school bell would ring at the end of the day, and it was like run for the exits, run. There was all the buses were lined up outside the school, and obviously certain buses would go down to different ways, and I'd get the 716 home, and that was it. 716. From 716, but it's all school buses, but they'd call themselves, but they'd still have numbers.
Oh, okay.
It was school only. It wasn't public buses.
Ours were public buses.
Okay.
And then I never got the bus, and my parents picked me up, so that was a luxury.
That's nice.
But I just never knew any different.
For us, the bus route like literally stopped really, really close to where we lived. So it was like,
why not?
If we didn't get the bus, everyone was just really lazy. Yeah. So, okay, let's talk about the schedule of a day. So for you, like you said, 8:30 start, that's really early. Ours started at 9.
Okay.
And the first thing you do at school would be, you'd have a little bit of playground time, right? And then go to form? Or do you go straight to form?
Ours was called tutor time every morning. So at 8:30 you had to be there, and you were dismissed by about 8:45, and you had to go to your first lesson. So we'd have like 15 minutes in your tutor group, which was like about 30 people.
Yeah,
25, 30 people.
Yeah, it's basically like registration, but you think you're part of something.
I
They're
know.
just basically checking you're there.
What were yours called?
Ours were called Webster, John, Matthew. No, I can't remember. I was in Webster, and they had other like biblical names.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
know. I can't. It was a Catholic school. I went to all Catholic schools growing up.
So they had actual names.
Yeah.
Ours were like letters.
Really?
Like I was in KF, so if you're in year 7 it'll be 7KF, if you're in 8 you'll be 8KF, but they'd have like KF, KG, FX, KX, like all these different ones.
Cool letters.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm 9KF.
Oh wow.
And it's standard, so F was for French, so it's supposed to be Kestrel French, and then KG would be Kestrel German.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
I think ours were like Webster. I'm getting John, Matthew, Mark. Like I can't remember. But if I was to look through an old yearbook, I'd obviously get all the memories. And we all had colours. There was 4 colours.
Oh wow.
Ours was yellow. Anyway, these were the only things you really felt part of. When it was sports day, you were in those teams. Those were your teams. So it's like every year group had one lot of each team.
Okay.
Does that make sense? We're the Webster of the year 7, then that's the Webster of year 8.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's your group when it comes to sports
but
day.
Like you say, you only meet them every morning and every afternoon after lunch just to be ticked in. That's what happened with us.
I can't remember if we went there after lunch. I can't remember.
Okay.
I don't think we did. I think it was just a morning thing, and then please stay at school.
Yeah,
yeah.
Please don't run away. It's funny how it differs, because then I remember on Wednesdays you'd have an extended tutor time. So tutor time would be half an hour, and we'd play games and things.
Wow.
For half an hour before school started at 9 that day.
Wow.
So weird.
That is so weird. The way they did the schedule and the timetable makes little to no sense.
Yeah.
But then the British education system makes no sense because they don't talk to you about things like money, finance,
politics,
how to do a tax return.
Yeah.
And you don't teach anything.
I know, it is useless.
It is a bit useless, yeah. When am I ever going to use Pythagoras' theorem? Sorry, I know you're a great Greek guy, but sorry, never.
This is the thing, it's like that meme that I've seen of like all these different animals and their test is to climb a tree. So obviously the monkey, you know, can climb a tree really good, but then there's the giraffe stood there or a fish stood there like, well, I can't climb a tree. And it's like human beings, we're all different. So why are we forced into this school system where we have to be academic?
I mean, this video's gone another way, but anyway. I completely agree. We completely agree.
We go on tangents.
But people do ask us questions just about this in general, so we wanted to just go through it. The timetable was get there, go to form group or tutor group, get ticked in, tick, 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 do the register. And by the way, when the register is shouted out, you don't say like here or present or yes ma'am. Like you just say I can't remember. What would you say? Would you say here?
Yeah, you could say here, or you just say
yes, miss.
Or yes. Some people say yes, miss, but it depends on your tutor. My tutor was so chill, so he'd just be like, yeah. Whereas some people obviously would have to be like, yes, Mrs. Watson, or yes, Mrs. But yeah, I don't know what you say.
Yes,
some people would say present.
Present, would they? Present.
Some people, present, only the geeks. I would never say present.
Do you remember when as if we went to the same school, when that kid walked in and went, can I borrow a thesaurus, please?
A thesaurus.
Thesaurus, and we were like, thesaurus? What is that?
Particularly when an older child would come into your room, like if you're in year 7 and a year 11 came in the room, you'd be like, they're so old, they're so mature.
I remember that now. Oh, I just hit the mic.
No.
I remember that now.
Good acting.
Thank you. I remember that.
Yeah.
That was so... Why was it that as a kid it was such a big deal when someone from a different year group of a different age was in your presence?
Yeah, I don't know.
It was just crazy.
But anyway, we'd have 2 lessons in the morning, wouldn't we, before a break time?
Yes, so those 2 lessons were an hour long each, or if you had a double, it would unfortunately be 2 hours of that where you're in the same classroom for 2 hours.
Surely it was always like Monday morning double science or something punishing where you're just like, not on a Monday.
Not on a Monday. So you like double science, and then you'd have either a 15 or 20-minute break. I've got a feeling ours was 15, but they allowed 20 because it takes you 5 minutes to then walk to the next lesson.
Yeah.
So there's like 1 bell and then there's a final bell. Did you get that?
Yeah, we got 2 bells. I'd always be like lingering, like rinsing it for all it's worth, and then would get shouted out by the people that come out. They're not teachers. What are these people? They're not teachers.
They're like playground.
Almost like playground supervisors who come out and they're like, get to class, and you're like, shut up, and then you like run away.
Because they're not teachers, you feel like you can. No, that's amazing. Yeah. I wasn't real goody, so I didn't do any misbehaving.
You got to class.
Yeah, straight away. First one there.
This is a
Dexy
tangent.
Head girl.
But did you ever decorate your textbooks with wrapping paper or something?
Yeah, always. Yeah. I would laminate all my textbooks in like plastic lamination and do all sorts of designs. Loved it.
Yeah.
I just really loved it. I remember when I was top of my class at textiles, and she used my folder as an example for years to come, like how to make children's dresses.
Amazing.
Anyway, I just loved school.
Yeah.
But you know,
now it's over.
I'd do it again.
Yeah, I liked school. I didn't like the bullies, but I liked school.
Yeah.
But anyway, so break time and finish, and then you'd have 1 more class before lunch, or is it another 2?
I think it was 2. I think ours was like 2 break, 2
lunch,
2 end.
Yeah, I think ours was the same.
That's what we had.
But then, as Leah said, they could either be 2 single lessons of an hour each, or 1 double lesson for 2 hours, which was terrible.
Savage. But now, to think that we've got to be in a room for 2 hours wouldn't do it. We'd just be fine with it.
Yeah, we'd be like, I've got to focus for 2 hours. You'd be like, cool.
Like when we go to the YouTube space and they do a talk to us and they explain stuff that we're interested in, and we sit there and listen for a long time.
Yeah.
We've never been like,
ants
just
in our pants.
itching to get
I
out.
know. It's so funny when you're at school, you're like, this is the longest day ever. And I think that all the time. When I used to finish at 10 to 3 in the afternoon, I'd be like, oh, it's the end of the blooming day, isn't it? Whole day wasted. I've been at school. And then now I'm like, when it's 2:50, I'm like, oh, this like time to get up.
Imagine like 13-year-old you as a grumpy granddad.
Literally.
Like, oh shit, bloody day's finished, isn't
bloody
it?
waste of time. Might as well just go to bed now. It's 3. Look, now it's 3:15 in the afternoon, but I'm like, we've still got ages left. Whereas when I was at school, I was like 3:15. That's the end of the day.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Attitudes to everything.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the British school system, British high schools explained.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that like rings a bell to you that you're like, I can't shift that, apart from the bullies?
Well, no, not
about
really.
school.
Well, I liked school, especially when it kicked off in year 10 and 11. So for the last 2 years, you got to study whatever you wanted.
Yes.
As well as the compulsory. So you still had to do English, science and maths and a language of your choosing. So I chose Spanish instead of French. I did start with French, but I was like, nah, I want to do Spanish.
That, yeah.
And then you got to choose.
Yeah, so in the years up until year 10 and 11, you'd do a bit of everything. You'd do a bit of French, you'd do a bit of Spanish, you'd do a bit of art, a bit of music, a bit of drama.
Yeah.
And then in year 10, you'd make, at the end of year 9, you'd make your choices. And this was a big deal. They made it feel like you had to decide on your future.
The rest of your life. I remember sitting on my sofa with this pack they sent you home. What is it?
Age 14 or 13, 14. You've got to make a massive choice. It means everything.
Yeah. They put together this pack of explaining what each subject would be like, what the GCSEs, which is our exams, what they would look like. I remember going through with my mum and dad like, I don't know what to choose.
And it felt like such a big deal.
Yeah.
I remember the biggest choice that I had to make was which creative subject would I choose. I wanted to do them all. I loved art, I loved music, and I really loved drama, and I ended up choosing drama, but I really wanted to do all of them. I think Mum actually called up and said, can Leah do all of them? They said no.
I can't remember the rules. I reckon they probably did put limits on creatives, didn't they? Too many creative ones.
You couldn't have a timetable of like maths, English, drama, art, textile, like everything
Which
creative.
Is so
you just
stupid.
Couldn't imagine being limiting our creativity. I wanted to do them all. I loved art. My art teacher was devastated that I didn't choose that further. My music teacher was devastated I didn't choose it further.
So hard.
And the drama were thrilled that I decided to take it further.
So I remember having a meeting with my drama teachers because I was really good at it and I really loved it, but I was still so shy, and I went up to them and I was like, I really want to do drama, but am I going to struggle because I'm not very confident? And they were like, I think you'll be fine, like just do it, you'll grow in confidence. And so I chose drama, and I ended up being one of the best in the year group.
Oh, fantastic, Joel.
I think it was the only A star I got.
That is amazing. That is so
no,
good.
It wasn't. I only got A's. I didn't get any A stars. I got A stars for all of my practical.
Yeah.
But the exams, I'm not very good at exams.
But then again, just the whole exam system is basically one big memory test.
Yeah.
It was really hard.
It is hard.
It was hard.
So what did you choose?
I chose to major in drama.
Yeah.
In terms of you had to do one that was kind of like, it could have been woodwork, it could have been textile, or it could be computer stuff. I chose textiles.
Okay.
So sewing.
Yeah. And then wasn't it geography or history?
History I chose out of geography and history. I thought the geography teachers were really weak.
Yeah. Also, my mum told me not to do geography because it's not a real subject, which my dad got really offended about because he loves geography. So then my parents would get fighting over which subjects I should study. Geography
or history. Yeah, I just chose because that's so me, like what people do I want to be in a room with? And I was like, I love the history teacher. Yeah. He's so fun.
It's so good.
So I chose that. And then what are the others? Yeah, so French out of French or Spanish, history out of geography and history.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bumblebee. And then, drama and French? I've said French.
You said French. So you did French, drama,
history,
textiles and history.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Those were the choices.
Yeah, very good choices.
And then all 3 sciences, maths. I did an extra maths. I did statistics.
Clever girl.
Add maths.
Were you in top set for maths?
Every year top set. I didn't get 1B.
I was in set 4 out of 6.
Oh, poor thing. Joel, I don't remember anything. I don't remember anything from school. Like, if you showed me my textbooks, I just can't. I was really good.
Yeah, no, you. To
be fair, I just loved school.
This is why school is so bad. I was placed in set 4 out of 6 when I shouldn't have been, because everyone in my class had to sit the foundation paper, which is like the dumber exam paper where you're capped at getting a C. So like you're not able to get an A or a B because it's designed for people that can't do maths. And my parents, I think, campaigned for me to be able to sit the higher paper. Yeah. And my brother is a maths teacher, so he tutored me privately, and I ended up with an A. And the teacher apologised to me and was like, you were in the wrong set all the way along. I was like, I knew I was clever, but just not that clever.
Claps for Joel, everyone.
I mean, you are the more mathematician than I am.
I got all A stars and A's.
Wow.
I didn't get any B's, but
well done.
I just made it my life.
Yeah.
I was like, I have to do this. I don't know why. I just wanted to be a creative girl.
Yeah.
Funny.
And here we are, later.
YouTubers.
This job didn't even exist when we were at school.
No, we had no idea.
No.
If someone had told me at school you'd be doing YouTube with a boy.
Yeah, you'd be like, what?
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 Shut up.
Couple vlogging.
Couple vlogging. No. Anyway, guys, we hope that has given you a little bit of insight into British high schools, British secondary schools as we call them, or big schools.
Big schools.
It's been nice reminiscing.
And yeah, let us know what your school system is like for big school, because I know it differs. Every country has their own rules.
Perhaps if we get enough information in the comments, we can do a comparison video next.
That'd be really cool.
Leave us a comment. We can't wait to read them, and we'll see you in the next one, guys.
Yeah, subscribe.
Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so that you can be the first one to find out.
Yes,
Bye.
absolutely. Goodbye.